Football, baby. Who's favorite? Anything can happen. Play for everything we got right here. We gonna look him in the eye. We gonna punch him in the mouth. What a catch! This is why this kid is so special. Over the end zone. He's got it. Something magical about this kid. What a hit. This place is going crazy.
Yes, we are once again back here on Spreaker.com for Fusion Sports Radio, y'all. NFL Week 4 scores and news. We're going to get get as many games as we can in this episode. I also want to run down some college ball, but first, let's get to the news. Sunday Night Football, New England Patriots got it done in Atlanta, 30-23. Was it? Yeah? No? Let me get it on it. Jimmy Johnson won at Dover yesterday in the Sprint Cup Series. Also, LSU goes in to Georgia, but gets beat by Georgia. What a game. We're going to get in that as well. Let's get into it, though. On Thursday night, San Francisco finally found their magic, finally got back into routine, running them 4 plays and getting Colin Kaepernick in his zone. But come on, folks. Even my Cowboys beat down the Rams. San Fran gets it done 35-11. Also, in the Britain game in England, Minnesota Vikings finally, maybe had they found a quarterback. We're going to get into that some more. Matt Castle getting it done yesterday against Pittsburgh, 34-27. Also, my Cowboys, they pull and they blow a 11-point lead in the second quarter, and they get beat by San Diego 30-21. Also, Buffalo Bills, are they a contender, or are the Ravens just a up and down kind of team? Buffalo gets it done 23-20. Cleveland, they go 2-0 in their little winning streak here, and they beat Cincinnati down in Cincinnati 17-6. Also a high scoring game, but where was the Bears defense? Detroit gets it done on the road 40-32. Kansas City is once again, he's a 4-0 team, and the Giants are an absolutely messed up team, probably the worst team in the NFC East. They get it done 31-7. Arizona and Tampa Bay, I hope you missed that game. Arizona gets it done 13-10. Indianapolis, not a big shocker. Andrew Luck, big day, 260 yards passing, gets it done in Jacksonville, 37-3. Now, come on, y'all. Is Jacksonville the worst team in the NFL? Yeah, they are. They're like the Yucks. They're like Tampa Bay back in the 70s. Come on, man. Seattle goes into Houston, and we're going to get into that. Wow, Matt Schaub, he does pass for 355 yards, but third game in a row, 6 pick for 6. Seattle gets done 23-20 overtime. Tennessee, they lose their quarterback, but they get that win 38-13 against the Jets. Denver Broncos, it's like a college conference game. Okay, Denver gets it done against the Eagles 32-20. Washington, they found their mojo against the Raiders, but Matt Flynn was the quarterback. Washington gets it done 24-14. Sunday Night Football, as I mentioned, and we're going to get into this right here, right now. Matt Ryan passes for 421 yards, but it's not enough. They get 4 cracks in the end zone, and they still can't get it done. And let's just get into it a little bit. It was 30-23. New England put up 17 points in the fourth quarter, and they almost blew it. Tom Brady, 28 out of 31, 316, 2 TDs, of course, no touchdowns or interceptions. Matt Ryan, 34 out of 54, 421, 2 TDs, and a actually surprising interception. He gave up 2 sacks. Tony Gonzalez was a beast last night, catching 12 receptions for $149 and 2 TDs. Come on, man. Julio Jones going down deep in the stretch. But here's the problem that I have with this game. It was a good game. Tom Brady has finally found him some wide receivers that he can count on. And they showed up. And, we've heard all this talk about, well, the Patriots, are they the same? Can Tom Brady get it done? And I answered your calls. His wide receivers definitely stepped up. No doubt about it. Just name off a few. Thompson, he gets 6 receptions, $127 TD. Elderman, 7 receptions, $118. But let's talk about the run game first of all, just on the side of New England. New England is not known for their running game. They had 3 guys run the ball last night. Blunt, 9 carries for 64 yards, 7.1 average for a TD. Ran for 47 yards, his longest run of the night. Stephen Ridley, 11 carries for 53 yards, 4.8 yards. Come on now. That's over 100. And then their other guy, Bolden, 6 carries for 17 yards. On Atlanta's side, Jazz Rogers, 7 carries, 32 yards, averages 4.6 yards. Snelling, 8 carries, 26 yards, 3.3 average on the carrying. Their longest yards, 9 by Selling. Now there was some errors, and there was some turnovers, both of them. Julio Jones, he fumbled it. Tom Brady, he fumbled it. But Matt Ryan threw an interception to lead. What a game. But it all comes down to this. When you have 2 high-scoring teams who have 2 good quarterbacks, top elite in the league, it all comes down to possession of the ball, right? When you have a running game, it changes things, folks. It does. Let's just look at some of the drives here. New England, 3, 6, 6.5. And then Atlanta. Their longest drive of the game was 6:24. Okay? 6:24. 67 yards. Here's the problem, though. If you look at both of them, New England had the ball more, and when they did, they either scored a touchdown or a field goal. Atlanta had more punts or an interception. It's all about controlling of the ball. And just one quick note, and then we're going to get off the subject. They almost blew it last night. I will give them this. 4th and 1, Tom Brady takes a snap under center, fumbles it. I believe he recovered, but it was still 4th and 1. So automatically turnover ball. You can't make mistakes. All right, y'all. Let's get into the next game. Let's keep it in the NFL. Minnesota. Let's go there. It was on CBS at noon. Steelers are now 0-4. Ouch. Vikings 1-3. Not the best. Big Ben 383. 1 TD, 1 interception. Peterson 23 carries, $140, 2 TDs. That's my AD, I know. Of course, on Minnesota Vikings side, Gerald Simpson got 7 catches for $124. That's what I know. A very good game, back and forth. And with the total score, I wouldn't necessarily say that the Vikings came back, but they kind of did. Or I should say Pittsburgh kind of came back. Minnesota, in the first quarter, it was 7-10 Minnesota. The third, here's the problem. Steelers, their line is terrible, no doubt about that, but they can't put enough points on the board to even out how many points their defense gives up. Third quarter, Vikings put up 14 points. Here's the problem. Big Ben, Todd Haley, obviously, that's not getting along. Mike Tomlin said in his post-game interview or his conference, things are going to be changed. Personnel are going to be changed. And they will be changed. And that first change after the season, maybe in the middle of the season, they keep going this direction, is Todd Haley. He's going to be gone before Ben Roethlisberger is. On the Minnesota Vikings side of the ball, a very, very good way for their offense to come out and just shine. AD had, like I said, 23 carries, about 42 TDs. Stunner. That's Peterson we know. I'm not saying that it's all on Christian Ponder. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you have a guy, Matt Castle, who in 2008 replaced an injured Tom Brady and went 10-5 that season. And then he goes to Kansas City, where they were not a very good team at all, and gets fired. And now is back up for the Minnesota Vikings. You look at both quarterbacks, and you have a proven track record in Castle when they have a good team. Then you have a track record of Ponder, who's with a decent team last year. And that's all they were. They were a decent team. And you had Adrian Peterson carry them on their backs last year to make it to that playoff and then get just whooped. That's your problem right there. Your line's okay. Your defensive line is, when they want to be, they can be good. Jared Allen, 2 sacks yesterday. Good. Secondary's terrible. The linebackers are okay. You got a lot of question marks on defense. Offensive wise, wide receivers, you got Red Jennings, you got Simpson. Tight end, you got Rudolph. You got playmakers, no doubt. As you saw yesterday with Jennings going down the whole field, taking his behalf. The problem is the quarterback position. Can you get it done there with Ponder? Let's think about this. If you look at last year, Ponder is a game manager. That's all he does. You give it to AD once, twice, maybe a screen here or there to a wide receiver, and then maybe a screener here to Peterson. But all he is a game manager. You can't go in to Green Bay. You can't go in, especially against Pittsburgh. You can't go into those places like this and have a game manager. You cannot compete in the NFC with Matt Ryan and the Falcons. You cannot compete with Seattle. You know why you cannot compete with a game manager as your quarterback? Because it all revolves around putting up points. This is a quarterback-driven league. They have to be able to put up points on the board. Ponder can't do that. Why can't he do that? Some people say, well, he doesn't get the opportunity that he needs to. Well, when you're down by 14 going in the fourth quarter, I believe you throw the ball a little bit more, don't you think? And if you were that top-tier quarterback, then you would put up those points. And here's my point. You look at Ponder, who I say is a game manager, and then you have Matt Castle. When it's 2017 going in, no, I take that back. When it's 20-10 going in the third quarter, Pittsburgh puts up 7 points. But he goes in there and gives it to AD for a 7-yard touchdown run. 7 minutes and 52 seconds. Thank you very much. Of possession time. And then you throw a 16-yard pass for 5 minutes and 11 seconds to Red Jennings, making it 34-17. Okay? Now, granted, they didn't score any points in the fourth quarter. And granted, Pittsburgh did put up 10 points with a 15-yard pass and a field goal in the fourth quarter, making it 27-34 for your final score. Here's my point, as I'm saying it once again. Head coaches have already said, you know what, Ponder is our quarterback. We're not going to change it. Now, you're going into a bye week. So you have a lot of time to, one, look at game film from this game. Then look at game film from the previous game with Ponder. So you kind of establish both. And you have to make yourself think, can I win with Christian Ponder? Or can I go with a guy that has been a track record and proven that track record of being a winner? That is my point, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be surprised if Vikings change their quarterback. Hopefully they will, so they can get something done, personally as a Vikings fan. We'll see what they do. Next game, I want to go to a little bit of college football. Can we go college football, y'all? My OU Sooners gets it done against the Fighting Irish. But the game that we're going to be looking for is the one that you've all heard about. The one that stole Saturday's show, LSU, Georgia. This is the closest, SEC is the closest conference in college football that you can get to being a pro game. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the SEC is known for their defense. This was not a defensive show. You have LSU coming into Georgia 4-1, and Georgia being 3-1. LSU was the favorite, no doubt about it. LSU's quarterback Mettenberg, 317 yards, 3 TDs. The running back, 21 carries, 86 yards, 1 TD, and their wide receiver, 10 receptions, a buck 56, 1 TD. Now, your first quarter, breaking it down, was a good one, 14-14. Going to second, Georgia scores a touchdown and a field goal, but LSU only scores a field goal. 10-10 in the third, and then LSU 14-10. But how do they lose? By a field goal. That's what they lose by. Is LSU the real deal? I don't know. Granted, it was a close game. Georgia came back. The little play where you had a guy going down on a streak, and then you had a guy going on the post where they split the safety, and the safety went with the post instead of the streak, and the corner got beat by the guy that did the streak, and that's how they scored. Good game. Very high-scoring game. I was flipping back for my Sooners in this game. Georgia is probably the only one, and looking at the SEC, are they really the only one that can compete with Alabama? Think about it. Okay, Alabama's already played Texas A&M. Stomp them. Alabama, they're going to play LSU. I don't know if they can get it done. In the East, if you do go to the SEC championship, you got Florida, you got Georgia, maybe South Carolina, but South Carolina looked horrible Saturday. Florida, can they compete? They're 3-1, 2-0 in the conference. Auburn can't get it done. Ole Miss, Arkansas, Mississippi State, so on and so forth. Can't get it done. So I'm really thinking the only challengers that can get it done is Georgia. I really do. We're going to hop back into the NFL. Because honestly, Ohio State, they stomped there. South Carolina beat UCF 28-25, close. Clemson defeated Wake Forest 56-7. Florida State beat Boston College 48-34. Washington beat Arizona 31-13. I'm sorry. Oregon is a beast, 55-16 over Cal. Looking at the rankings, just super quick. Now this is just an AP poll. You got Alabama, Oregon, Clemson, Ohio State, Stanford, Georgia, Louisville, Florida State, Texas A&M, LSU out of your top 10. I think South Carolina will fall. Louisville is a close one. I don't know. I think the only team, honestly, that could beat Alabama, and not just in the SEC championship game or in any game this season, and even the national championship. The only team is Oregon, and it's just because their offense. Now, Alabama, it'll be a shootout, no doubt about it, because Oregon does not have a defense. It's just the sheer power of you need really good conditioning and how many points can we put up on the board this week. Oregon is a beast. I love watching these guys. Clemson's going to fall. Ohio State's going to be there. But Alabama will be in the national championship game. And if Oregon keeps putting up points like this, I see why not. Ohio State, they're a good ball club, no doubt about it. They're probably third in the country right now. Maybe Stanford after them. But they're not a national championship type caliber team. Last year, absolutely, no doubt about it. But, they had the bowl ban. So, it's a kind of give and take kind of thing. We are going to hop into NFL for the last 10 minutes. And then I'm going to give my predictions on some things for the last 5 minutes. Tonight, Saints take on the Dolphins on Monday Night Football. That should be a good one. And let's get into pick'em. And we're gonna start out with the college ball. Let's do college ball. Hopefully, I can get more of these shows out here and there. But let's do this. Yeah, let's pick them, and then we'll see if we can do another one later this week. ESPN really does a cool thing with pick 'em. I definitely advise that. But hey, if you need all your scores, all your news, all that good stuff, establishsports.weebly.com is where it's at. It's in the description for this week. All right, week 6. And I can't pick for some odd reason. Anyway, we'll just get into their schedule and pick out the best one. But hey, I mean, it was a good weekend for sports, no doubt about it. Top tier, my OU Sooners take on TCU at home. Should be good. Texas Tech takes on Kansas. I'm just picking up the big game. Louisville takes on Temple on pay-per-view, which is stupid. Alabama's on pay-per-view against Georgia State. Georgia takes on Tennessee. OSU got beat by West Virginia. Wow. Not any big games. The ABC game is Ohio State, Northwestern. I want to take Ohio State. I really don't think Northwestern has a shot in hell to win that game. But hey, they can hope. They can pray. You know? But good luck with that. We're going to look ahead for week 5. Yeah, week 5. All right, Thursday night football game. New York Giants. Jeez, terrible. They're going to Chicago. Chicago should beat them up bad. I see this getting out of hand real quick. Let's see Eli Manning can make it and do something with it. Carolina Panthers at Minnesota Vikings. I'm actually going to go with. Wait a minute. I'm skipping a week, y'all. I apologize. Week 5, Buffalo at Cleveland. Yawn. I'll go with Buffalo. EJ Manuel is going to run a circus on the winning streak of Cleveland. New Orleans at the Bears. New Orleans, too many points for Chicago's defense, even though Jay Cutler might have a stellar game against their defense because they have terrible pass coverage. Denver at my Dallas Cowboys. God help us. I see Peyton Manning beating us big. I think the first half should be really entertaining and it'll be a good shootout. But after halftime, they're going to put a beating on us. New England Patriots goes to Cincinnati. I actually see New England's keeping their winning streak. Cincinnati is in a phase right now, and I don't know if they can get out of it this quick. Jacksonville at St. Louis, 2 horrible teams. I see Rams rebounding and beating Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville is going to actually go 0-16, to be honest with you. Baltimore at Miami. I actually see Baltimore, kind of rebounding on this. I think Miami will lose tonight against the Saints. We'll see how they do there. NFC East division. Philadelphia Eagles at New York Giants. Like I said, 2 bad defenses, horrible defenses. The problem that the Giants are going to face is I actually do see them getting a win. I think they'll get their first win just because their defense is Philadelphia's is more bad than Giants. Their defensive line is terrible. The offensive line is terrible, but it is what it is. Giants get it done barely by a boring game. Detroit Lions go to Green Bay. Green Bay, I see them getting another victory out of this one. Here's a problem. I mean, both of these guys are going to have a shootout, but Packers they can put up more points than Detroit can. Kansas City is at Tennessee. Kansas City mows down Tennessee. Gets it done. I don't know who their backup quarterback Tennessee is. But with Jack Locker being out for 4 to 8 weeks, Kansas City should have a field day on this team. Seattle at Indianapolis. Woo! This is a game, folks. You got Andrew Luck, who has a high-powered offense versus probably the best team in the league right now in Seattle, I think, maybe behind Denver. What a game. I'm going to actually go with Indianapolis on this one. I think they get the slight victory with a field goal. Carolina, Arizona, who really gives a shit? I'll go with Carolina on this one. San Diego at Oakland. San Diego is a different ball club. Now, granted, their defense is not the greatest, but Phillip Rivers in that second half against my Cowboys, wow, what is in his Kool-Aid, folks? He was in the zone. And then Sunday Night Football, it is Houston at San Fran, and this should be not a good one. This is going to be built up. Oh, this is going to be a great game, and San Fran is going to destroy them. Matt Schwab is in his NFL career in Houston it's ticking, folks. It's about to get out of there. San Fran gets it done big time, more than you would really expect. New York Jets at Atlanta, and this is just a oh man, like first half, Atlanta's going to be up big. I'll say by 2 TDs. Atlanta gets it done big against Jets. Minnesota, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, and Washington Redskins. They got a bye week this week. Of course, establishedsports.weebly.com. You can find this. Spreaker news, NASCAR news, college news, scores, schedules, all that good stuff. Establishedsports.weebly.com. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter. All that is in the description for the links. 26-minute show. I think that's pretty good, y'all. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful week. Hope you enjoyed the sports. Is there really anything else I could talk about? No. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here, y'all. Fusion Sports Radio is where it's at.